Duncan Little, the starting quarterback of the Langley Rams, joining me right now as we continue to chat and get to know some of the outstanding talent around the British Columbia Football Conference. And Duncan, for you, a year of transition, you move a whole province, you change a team as well. What's it been like transitioning to a whole new city and a whole new team?
It's been crazy. It's a lot of learning new things, experiences, different people. It's been fun though, so that's for sure.
What was it about Matt Blocker and Coach Snoop that made you, or was it about the coach mainly for you? Was that the sort of one of the biggest factors in your decision to move from the Colts to the Rams?
Yeah, that was a huge decision for me. I've known him for a long time now, so it's I trust him, and I've always trusted him, and it's been a huge help with him in my life and how he's coached me. I trust him on the coaching aspect and now the life aspect of it.
Mm. I played under Coach Snoop as well for 4 years with the Rebels and then with the Raiders. So I'm certainly familiar with his style. He has a way of sort of enwrapping himself in your life outside of the football field as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Just talking with him all the time. Well, and I'm blessed in the sense that I'm a quarterback that I have to talk to the coaches all the time, right? It's constant communication with him and all the coaches. So I'm in that sense, it's always open. Any second we're talking.
Mm. I love to ask guys this question because you've seen it now from two different conferences, right? You've seen the Prairie Conference, now you've seen the BC Conference. I know there are differences, but what are some of the key differences between these two football conferences in the CGFL?
There's a bunch of differences, to be honest with you. Just like the dynamics of how play happens, like how the field is used, how everybody attacks the game. There's a huge difference in mentality, right? Like from what I've seen, everything is you're organized and you go with a game plan in the BCFC, and out here you can change on a fly and see something and you hit it. You know exactly you want to change something, you change it and you keep going with that. So it's kind of interesting that way.
What is it about the BC Conference, do you think, that makes it sort of that more of a fluid, faster, changing kind of game? Is it the coaching styles? Is it the players? What do you think makes it so much more open and less maybe rigid than Prairie ball?
I just think it's the coaches see things differently, right? The coaches see someone's doing this, so they know they want counter it in a certain way, right? It's just understanding of the game and the audibles and changing adjustments is different out here. Where like when I was with the Prairie team, right? The Colts, it was we had a play, now we just use that play to counter it instead of drawing in the sand almost.
Do you have a preference? Is there a type of ball that you prefer?
I don't think I have a preference, and I learned a lot from both schemes in the sense, right? Like it's out of my comfort zone because I am a Prairie kid, right? So it's changing how I see the game. It's changing how I attack the game, how I go through my progressions and everything. So it's built me up to be a better quarterback, in my opinion. So it's a great experience just in that aspect for me.
Yeah. I think there is a perception out there that the Prairie League is a better league. It is stronger. Obviously, they've had their dominance on the national stage, or at least one of the teams has for sure. How do you sort of assess the talent level and the difference between the two conferences?
In my opinion, any team can win at any night. That's just how football plays, right? Yeah. It doesn't matter who you are. If you play your best game ever, you can beat any team at any time. So, yes, they have great success nationally, and props to them. They deserve it every time, right? Because they came in with a game plan to win that day, right? But in my opinion, I could see any team winning at any point. That's just how I view it.
The start to the season for your club in Langley, I think that you guys probably would have hoped to have had more wins on the board at this point. But with that said, you're right in the mix. And one of the teams that people are talking about when you're talking about championship contending here this season. What's this season been like as far as the Rams go? I mean, with some of the challenges you guys have faced, and of course coming off a huge win for you guys last weekend.
It's just growing as a team, right? Like the biggest thing is that we're all new, right? New coaching staff, new people, new players for everyone, trying to learn chemistry with everyone. So that was the biggest thing, right? Like learning how to play together. And it takes time, unfortunately. And like I've been talking to my teammates, it's like we don't have enough time, but we have to push through it all the time. We have to push through, and try and get there. And slowly it gets better. So we'll see how far it keeps going, and that's how we'll do it.
A tough game for you at home against Okanagan, 5 interceptions. That jumps off the stat line. I mean, I hate to bring it up. I'm sure you don't want to go there, but try and walk people through the mindset of a quarterback when you're going through that, and then how you sort of come back to work after an experience like that. You know, a tough game with 5 interceptions.
Yeah, that was a really tough game mind-wise. Like 6 sacks, 5 interceptions. Statistically, it was a really bad game on my part. And from the film, it's a bad game from my part, right? So how I view it and how I go through it is I go to the film and see how do I fix what I did, right? I can't stay behind there. It's done with, right? So go to the film, watch what I did, watch how I can fix it, and see what we need to do to fix all the mistakes we made.
Right. We talked about the transition from leagues, transitioning to a whole new province and a new life and a new job and all these things for you. But part of it for you is that you are a married man. And at the age of 21, playing BCFC football, I honestly don't know in my experience that I've ever encountered a married man in this league. What do your teammates say when they find that out? Is it something that they're saying, oh, can they believe it?
It's kind of a shock, that's for sure. That it's not a common thing at all with any team that I've been a part of, right? Everybody has girlfriends, yeah, but like being married at 21, it's very different, right? And at the same time, though, my teammates have respected me for that, which I really appreciate because it's a life commitment, right? So it's a very different, and I think a maturing thing to do. So
yeah, I was going to say, how do you think it maybe impacts you as a person and maybe as a player going through an event that most junior football players don't even really consider at when they're playing junior football?
Yeah, like it's made me appreciate the moments even more, right? Like every moment I get to appreciate more. Like throughout my high school, at coaches all the time, they say appreciate the moments, right? And just from being married, I've learned that I have to appreciate it even more because I don't get to spend 8 hours a day just watching football, right? I have to go home and
that's a good way not to be married anymore, I'll tell you that.
Exactly. Yeah. I have to talk to my wife instead of watching NFL sometimes, right?
Yeah.
You just have to because you have to mature and you have to grow. So
a smart man. You've already learned some lessons, I see. That's very good. For yourself, I mean, a lot of guys come in and they have very set goals. I want to be in the CIS in 2 years. I want to be in the draft. I want to be at a CFL tryout, the combine, whatever it is. What's your vision? What sort of drives you in this experience?
I think I have a goal set out for myself and I know what my goal is, right? Like, and I'm going to do everything I can to achieve it, right? My goal is always to hopefully go to the CFL. That's ultimately my goal, right? And at this moment, I'm going to push myself every day and every minute to be the best I can be to do that, right? And now that I have my wife with me, she's helped me stay on track and help me focus in on that goal even more. So it's not just for myself anymore, it's for me and her. So that's a bonus for me.
Maybe fill in the blank for me here a little bit. The Langley Rams will blank at the end of the 2018 season.
Oh, you're trying to catch me there.
Doesn't have to be one word. It can be a sentence. But what do you see as the fill in the blank for this team between week 6 and the end of the playoffs?
I say we'll be contenders. That's what I have the drive, and I know my teammates have the drive that we're going to be in that picture to contend at every single play. And we'll contend for that championship, hopefully.
Duncan, I appreciate your time very much. This has been really great. It's quite refreshing, to be honest with you. You get a little different perspective from a young man who's dealing with some things that maybe older men typically are experiencing, and at the same time playing this game of junior football. So thanks for your time. Thanks for opening up, and